hardly anyone that this current Chelsea team can actually handle, or should I say can come against toe-to-toe or head-to-head or shoulder-to-shoulder, whatever it is. The only thing that Chelsea fans can hope for now is that a new manager comes on board and turn things around. But you don't plan or you don't hope on future projections. You hope on what is on ground right now. And what is on ground right now is when it comes to form, when it comes to ability, when it comes to performance this season, Chelsea is the least of the 8 teams left in the Champions League right now.
Really?
Yes. Chelsea is the only team. Go and check from Inter to AC to Benfica. Benfica is currently top of the table in the Portuguese league. Napoli is top of the table in the Portuguese league. Wait, Real Madrid is second. Bayern Munich are top of the table. Man City is second.
Excuse me, sir.
Chelsea
I wouldn't use that.
Chelsea is sitting lowest.
Excuse me, sir. We are not starting
on
with
league
Chelsea.
table.
Hold on. We are not starting with
All
Chelsea,
right.
but it's great
You
to
just bring it down.
Hold on, please. Hold on. I think I've started something that we're not starting with Chelsea. And honestly, we're going to get there in a bit. But guys, let's start off a recap of last night from Italy, where Romelu Lukaku was racially abused by Juventus fans after scoring a late penalty for Inter Milan before being sent off in the Coppa Italia draw. It was shown a second yellow card for celebrating in front of home fans after his 95th minute spot kick. And that would eventually descend into scuffles and fracas between the players, both sides. Inter captain Samir Andanovic and midfielder Juan Cuadrado were shown red cards after the final whistle, with the fracas continued down the tunnel. Cremonese will be hosting Fiorentina. That's in the second semi-final later today, with both legs, with the second leg of both ties set to be played on the 26th and 27th of April. Now that's from the Coppa Italia and German DFB Cup.
Can I just say something about it? I think this is very unfair, and that's because I don't see any reason why Romelu Lukaku should be carded for celebrating in front of Juventus fans. Now, I know it feels insightful, but sometimes you look at... No, yeah, it feels insightful, but sometimes you look at where the spot kick was taken and where the fans are. Sometimes when you score a goal, you just go and celebrate. Sometimes you don't even know until you get there, you don't know which fans are where. Now, he didn't run the whole field like Adebayo.
I was going to talk about
to go deliberately celebrate in front of the Juventus fans. I think he just picked the closest corner to where the spot kick was taken, and he celebrated then. I don't think he should have gotten a yellow card for that. I mean, so many persons have celebrated, although it's not encouraged. It's discouraged in the world of football. But I don't think what happened yesterday should have earned him a second yellow, especially when he was already on one.
Shouldn't have earned him a second yellow, but sometimes, I mean, whether it's intentional or not.
So now what they're saying is when you score a goal, you've got to look, okay, that's where our fans are. Okay, let me go here. I mean, sometimes you're just carried away in the moment and you just run to the nearest corner where a camera is and you just celebrate. Are you saying they must also be conscious when they are, in that joyous mood of just having scored a goal, especially a 95th minute equalizer in a semi-final in a cup semi-final? I mean, he was overjoyed, and I think.
But you need to realize that was disrespecting from Lukaku. I mean, you don't.
I would say it's disrespectful if I found out that Lukaku intentionally went to where the Juventus fans were to celebrate. But you must understand that Juventus were at home, so like 75% of the stadium was covered with Juventus fans anyway.
Still, it knows.
Are you saying that there's a possibility that in that split seconds that he scored the goal, he will start looking for the corner in the field where, you remember, Inter Milan fans were the away team, they were probably a quarter of how many fans Juventus...
Are you also saying that he doesn't know where the fans are? Most of these players do know. Most of these things are done deliberate.
I'm saying at that point, it should be given reasonable benefit of a doubt. The fact that he may have been overwhelmed with the joy and just run to any corner and celebrate.
You're right. I understand the fact. That red card, I support as well too. It shouldn't have been, for celebrating such.
Maybe caution him.
And most especially, he has been on a yellow card before.
Exactly.
Prior to that. So it's more or less...
there's still benefit of doubt that he may have just been taken about, or should I say carried away with the moment
Yeah.
and not realize where the
where
fans
he
were.
was.
So it's possible.
But should that have descended into a chaos?
No, yeah, the chaotic scene after that was the problem. In fact, post final whistle, I think there were still 2 red cards.
Went straight into
yes.
the through the tunnel. I mean, the fracas.
I think the fracas was in fact, I think if it was in England, I'm not sure what the Italian FA would do, but if it was in England, both clubs would be charged for
getting charged and perhaps
failing to control
certain
their players and
of
all
course,
that.
certain players also
that one is very disgusting.
Okay, and now straight to Germany, guys. From the DFB Cup played yesterday. For the first time in 3 years, Bayern Munich will not be winning this trophy. This is Thomas Tuchel's second game in charge. Second game in there.
Yeah.
I don't know why Daniel is sporting this very huge smile on his face.
Well, I was surprised anyway.
I was of the opinion that Chelsea fans love Tuchel.
No. I love Tuchel. But the thing is, I have my reservation with the way Bayern sacked Nagelsmann.
Okay.
Without, there was a rumor that says he was not even aware. It was on social network he found out he was being sacked.
Are you sure? I mean,
I saw that story also.
I mean, it's wait.
So
I'm not saying those rumors were not there, but are you sure? I mean,
No. I mean, I said
sometimes
there is a rumors in quotes now.
Because sometimes
unconfirmed
the things
reports.
you see on social media are
quotes.
not always true. That's what I'm driving at.
But it comes from his own camp.
But the report was it was on a vacation
In Australia.
with his girlfriend.
It was international break now,
was
so
sacked.
it was not in Munich.
Anyway,
So my only reservation was with him, the way he was being sacked. I mean, I felt it's not about the football on the pitch. I think it's go beyond that because this man has done very well. I mean, the Champions League this season, he hasn't even lost any game. He has won all
truth be told, it was not having. He was not having a sackable season.
It was not having
so far so good.
And so it's that's where I feel bad about it.
but it was all about
Tuchel,
the issues
behind the
exactly.
scene. Exactly.
There was some rumors about age of a thing colliding with Neuer,
and
Muller of a thing. But however, the bottom line is I was a bit happy yesterday because I want a Nagelsmann feedback on Bayern, not Tuchel. But the irony is Tuchel was a Chelsea, coach who won the Champions League for us not too long. Now Nagelsmann, I mean, so the both of them, I'm just in between. But coming from Bayern Hangu, I was really happy anyway.
Well, for me yesterday, I think it was a reality check, and I'm happy that the reality check came quite early because Tuchel's first game in charge was against Borussia Dortmund. They are arch rivals in the league title, and the way they put Borussia Dortmund to the sword, I'm sure Tuchel must have thought, hey, this is a roll in the park. Maybe I should just focus on the Champions League. Maybe because if this is the most challenging team in the league and I've just destroyed them this way, I think we've got this in our kitty. So I think this is a good reality check that, hey, you may have beaten Dortmund, but there are other teams that can give you a run for your money in the league. I think they will get over it. They are still having injury worries. I mean, there was still no money for them yesterday.
I was going to come ask. I mean, I saw an interview Manny granted where he was asked what's going on with him.
Because he played in the international break. Yeah. He scored for Spurs, Senegal, but then back with Bayern Munich, it feels like he has not gotten any look in. I mean, we've seen Gnabry, we've seen Kingsley Coman on the wings, we've seen Sane. We saw Sane yesterday on the wings. Since Tuchel came back, Thomas Muller is back. Instead of Jamal Musiala, Thomas Muller is back in the starting 11, but somehow Mane seems to be missing. Is it a matter of managerial difference? Maybe, after all, it was Nagelsmann. It was Nagelsmann who had a plan for Mane. Yeah. Is it that under Tuchel there's no place for Mane and he may be looking for another club in the summer? I think it's a question to be answered.
Summer for someone who's just left Liverpool.
I'm sure there are clubs.
I was going to ask if that were to be the case. So, what clubs would it likely? Maybe PSG.
PSG
or Real Madrid.
Real Madrid, yeah.
You think Real Madrid will
return back to England? You never can tell.
To what club in England?
I mean, clubs could bid for him.
I know Manchester.
Arsenal will not bid for him money.
I know Arsenal will not bid for him. Yeah, I don't think they need him. I think he would not come to Manchester United because of the rivalry issue. I mean,
with Liverpool.
With Liverpool. Yes. So I think and Chelsea is full. As a matter of fact, they're looking to offload players so that the new manager can have the luxury of having his own signings in the summer. So I think England for him, unless he fancies Tottenham Hotspur, which I don't think he will. I think it's either Real Madrid or the French Ligue 1.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Okay.
And with the issue of Messi in doubt,
there's also
there may be something there.
There's also question marks around Messi's future at Paris Saint-Germain. Even Barcelona have been speaking of quite of late that they wouldn't mind having him back, and it left me with questions about what exactly their plans are for the future. But that's we're not talking about that now. The other game of the day in the DFB Cup, we had Eintracht Frankfurt defeating Union Berlin 2-1, and today we have Nuremberg hosting VfB Stuttgart, and Borussia Dortmund are going away to Real RB Leipzig for their game. We're going to take a break, and when we return, our focus will be on the Premier League. Yesterday, Brighton over and Albion went away to AFC Bournemouth, recorded a 2-0 victory. Mitoma got an assist in that game, and Leeds United 2-1 they defeated Nottingham Forest. Leicester City, managerless Leicester City lost to Aston Villa 2-1. Good evening, that man is working. And Chelsea and Liverpool, the biggest game of the day, was goalless. We'll talk about that game and what some players around the league are saying about the managerial situation right there at Chelsea. When we return from this break,
Brighton
will
may just shock everyone and make top 4.
Okay, when we return, you're going to back that up. Still locked to be back.
Splash FM 105.5. This is today's top story.
I have decided to run for the presidency of this country.
That murderer. He killed my mother and tried to kill me. And now it's time for justice. I'm going to take revenge on the demon that wants to bring the country to their knees.
Telemundo presents Anna's Revenge, a gripping new series. New episodes every night at 9, only on Telemundo. Available on GoTV and DSTV. Streamed anytime from the next day on Universal Plus.
Ìbàdàn ìdìbò ti parí ká parapọ̀ káàdì kan ṣoṣo báyìí ló kù. Love Matters ló tún balẹ̀ bí òwàrà òjò pẹ̀lú Gbẹ̀ngà Dínkà and Friends pẹ̀lú South West Unity Tour. Òòyà ìwà túraká pẹ̀lú Gildon, Face, SJSY, Jesse King Buka, Òkè Bàkàsì, Funky Malam, Ọmọ Bàbá, Dr. Smile, Bàbá Aláríyá, General Olac, DJ Sexy, Bàbá Kàmó, Archbishop, Wòlíì Àgbà, The Passions Bọ́sẹ̀, Pepper Boys, Koja, Tai Chi, Paul the Good Guy àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Owó ìwọlé regular 3K, VIP 10K, Table of Gold 250K, Platinum 500K. Tickets wà ní Foodco Supermarket Outlet, Gracie Mart Àkúbọ̀, Branded Stores Outlet, Ultima Restaurant Outlet, Famous Cinema Dùgbẹ̀ àti Samonda, Essence Palms Mall àti ní online ní àríyátickets.com. Ó máa wáyé ní Easter Sunday April 9 ní Jogo Center Ìbàdàn. Láago 3 ọ̀sán, Maltina àti Goldberg ló ṣagbátẹrù ẹ̀. Tí ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ sì kí i lẹ́yìn. Love Matters Ìbàdàn, kò sí pressure. Ilé akéde ní Splash 105.5 FM.
Màámi, ṣé gbogbo ife Bonvita ilẹ̀ fẹ́ pín?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, ó ṣàmọ̀ pé àkókò yìí ní ṣe pẹ̀lú nǹkan pínpín.
Torí ẹ̀ ní Bonvita ṣe ń pín 50 gíráàmù lórí ìdí alátùrọ̀ onígíráàmù 104 kọ̀ọ̀kan. Àwọn ife wọ̀nyí á jẹ́ ti bọ̀dá Musa, alábàágbé wa, ìyàwó wọn, Uncle K.
Lákòókò yìí, ẹ jẹ́ gbádùn àfikún 50 gíráàmù lórí ìdí Bonvita alátùrọ̀ 104 gíráàmù tẹ́ bá rà. Ìyẹn túmọ̀ sí àfikún ìṣaralóore dídára ti Bonvita. Bonvita, ó kún fún èròǹgbà rere.
Wo ẹyinjú mi méjèèjì dáadáa, wàá rí bó ṣe ṣe pàtàkì sí mi tó. Wo inú ọkàn rẹ̀, níbẹ̀ ni mo jókòó sí. Níwọ̀n bá àgbà tó ti rí mi nínú ọkà àyà rẹ̀, o ò nílò àti wo ohunkóhun kiri mọ́ o.
Nígbà tèmi náà kọ́kọ́ fojú kan ẹ̀ ni mo ti rí ìfẹ́. Nígbà tó jàjà fọwọ́ kàn mí, nífẹ̀ẹ́ rẹ ti bò mí mọ́lẹ̀.
Kòkòrò ìfẹ́ mi níbo ló wà o.
Alẹ́ olólùfẹ́. Ètò tó lápẹ́já táwọn èèyàn ń jẹ̀gbáládùn rẹ̀ ní gbogbo alẹ́ ọjọ́bọ̀ Thursday látàgọ́ 10 àbọ̀ àṣálẹ́ ṣáago kan òru 10:30 p.m. to 1 a.m. ní Splash FM 105.5. Àwọn orin àdídùn, ọ̀rọ̀ ìṣítí nípa ìfẹ́ àti ìlàkọjá àwọn olólùfẹ́ ló sodo sí alẹ́ olólùfẹ́.
Olólùfẹ́ wojú mi sọ fún mi.
Orí ètò yìí la ti ń so olólùfẹ́ méjì pọ̀ lábala wọkọ̀wáyà. Àwọn olólùfẹ́ àtàwọn tó ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ fẹ́ ní ìrírí ìfẹ́ kò kí ń fi ètò yìí ṣeré. Torí àǹfààní àti mú orin àdídùn láti fi ìfẹ́ hàn sí olólùfẹ́ ní wà ní sẹpẹ́. Alẹ́ olólùfẹ́. Ẹ já darapọ̀ mọ́ Olúwagbémiga Adégòkè, arákùnrin Gòkè, àfìdúkọ̀nà ìfẹ́ lọ́jọ́bọ̀ Thursday ọ̀sẹ̀ yìí látàgọ́ 10 àbọ̀ àṣálẹ́ 10:30 p.m. ní ìkànnì Splash FM 105.5. Alẹ́ olólùfẹ́ kò ṣe má gbọ́ ni.
Ọwọ́ mi rè fà mí dání.
Ọpẹ́ mi kò ì tó. Ojoojúmọ́ ni ó máa dúpẹ́.
Èwo ló dé tẹ̀ ń jó tẹ̀ ń dúpẹ́ báyìí kí lẹ̀ ń dúpẹ́ lé lórí o.
Ṣé bí àwọn ọmọ yín ni? Gbogbo ìdánwò wọn tí wọ́n ṣe lásìkò yìí ni wọ́n ṣe dáadáa.
Ṣé lóòótọ́?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, ní kété tí wọ́n ti ròyìn Apex tutorial classes fún mi tí mo dẹ̀ ti kó wọn lọ ni wọ́n ti ń ṣe dáadáa.
Láti jẹ́ kí ọmọ tí inú ṣàṣeyọrí bí àwọn ọmọ tèmi nínú ìdánwò UTME, Post UTME, WAEC, NECO lọ́dún 2023 Apex tutorial classes ní kẹ́ ẹ̀ kó wọn lọ. Ètò ẹ̀kọ́ àárọ̀ wà. Bẹ́ẹ̀ làwọn tí wọ́n bá ráyè lè wá jókòó gbọ́ ẹ̀kọ́ tiwọn lọ́sàn-án. Ìforúkọsílẹ̀ tún ti ètò ẹ̀kọ́ ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní Apex tutorial classes. Ẹ kàn sí wa ní adjacent welfare hospital, Old Ife Road Ìbàdàn àti ní ẹ̀gbẹ́ mobile filling station UI Ọjọ́ Road Ìbàdàn, His Grace Plaza opposite Èrúwà Mutopa Ẹlẹ́yẹlé Ìbàdàn àti ní Mazak petrol station Oríta Apẹ̀rẹ̀ Ìbàdàn 0817-202-7411 0805-085-4922 Apex tutorial classes. Ọ̀gá ni wá láàrin àwọn tí ń fún àwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ní ìgbáradì fún ìdánwò wọn.
Get more from your afternoons. Plug into the good vibes. Make your day a lot more fun and exciting on the Splash PM Vibe. I'm talking bands, trivia, social media trends, and celebrity wars. Everything that means anything to you.
So it's your girl Ira Star, and you're listening to Toyo C on Splash FM.
Hi, what up, peeps? It's your man Vector the Rapper, aka VC, and I'm hanging with my girl Omo Toyo C on Splash.
Hi there, my name is Johnny Drill, and you're listening to Toyo C.
You're not on social media? Not to worry. We'll be bringing social media to you on the Splash PM Vibes. Join Oluwatoyosi Oloshunde on the Splash PM Vibes Thursdays 1:15 to 2 p.m. exclusively on Splash 105.5 FM. The Splash PM Vibes, bringing back the fun to your afternoon.
Your pikin don land. Hello. No dull. Give your pikin breast milk sharp inside 1 hour where you born am. Make it take drink that first yellow milk where then they call colostrum. That first yellow milk colostrum get everything where your pikin need. Plus say go help protect your pikin against yamayama disease. No forget give your pikin breast inside the first 1 hour when you born am. This message now from Ari Project or your State Ministry of Health.
Ibadan, get ready for a heavenly visitation. This Good Friday, the wind of healing, miracles, and breakthroughs will sweep you into your next level. Come join the Next Level Prayer Conference with Pastor Bolaji Do, happening live this Good Friday, the 7th of April, 2023 at the Liberty Stadium by 5:30 p.m. Ministering Adeyinka Alashayori, Joshua Israel, and Difumi Enyidero. Family curses will be broken. Years of shame will be ended. Sicknesses will be terminated. And your secret prayers will receive public answers. It is time.
It is time to exchange your troubles for a breakthrough. So come with friends and loved ones because there is a testimony for everyone.
The Next Level Prayer Conference 2023 on the 7th of April. Save the date and see you there.
Splash FM 105.5.
Okay, we are back. We are here. We are live. We are on Facebook. It is just football.
And those on Facebook will see that we never stopped talking throughout the commercial break.
It's always been heated arguments off air, and we're just going to continue from the banger Femighty dropped before we went on that break, and is saying that do not be surprised if Brighton somehow claw their way into top 4. And I am looking at the table here: Newcastle, Tottenham, Manchester United, Brighton, Aston Villa, Liverpool. Maybe I can put Brentford there as well.
And even
yes.
Chelsea to some extent.
Brentford, please.
No,
please.
I don't understand.
Please.
Which one is please?
Please.
I think it stops at Brentford 43. If you have not gotten wait. Naturally, the safety number of points in the Premier League is 40. If you have not gotten to 40 points in the Premier League, you can still get relegated. So let's not involve. Let's not involve people who are still battling relegation in top 4.
I mean, they're only lucky that there's a 9 points gap between Chelsea and Crystal Palace. Anyway, please don't involve Fulham and Chelsea. So the top 4 battle here: Newcastle, Tottenham, Manchester United, Brighton, Aston Villa, Liverpool, and Brentford. Brentford. Now, some of these teams have played 2 games more than the other, some just 1 game more than the other. But from what Femighty said here about the chances of Brighton finding a way into top 4 to the Champions League.
Yeah,
how?
I think they can creep in. We've seen it before. Newcastle United can crumble. They've crumbled before. They crumbled in the month of February. Drew so many games, lost a couple of games, and they were just getting themselves back before the international break. So we can see that Newcastle can crumble. Tottenham Hotspur cannot be trusted. They are in some sort of crisis mode right now. So if you look at the settled teams in that top 4 race, it's Newcastle, Manchester United, Brighton. Now, one of the reasons why I feel Brighton may have a chance is, one, there will still be Newcastle versus Tottenham Hotspur. There will still be Manchester United versus Tottenham.
A chance to cancel each other out.
So there will still be games where these guys can cancel each other out and Brighton can take advantage.
What about the fixtures that Brighton have?
Well, Brighton have got a couple of outstanding games. I know Brighton also, they've got a game, they've got an outstanding game against Manchester. They have an outstanding game against Manchester United.
They're playing Tottenham this weekend.
I think they can beat Tottenham. If the Tottenham Hotspur that I saw against Everton is anything, and the Tottenham Hotspur that I've seen in the last couple of games is anything to go by, and the Brighton that I've also seen in the last couple of games is in form. Let me just put it that way. It's form. If anything is anything to go by, I think I fancy Brighton's chances against Tottenham Hotspur this weekend.
So you look at the table from 3rd to 5th, they are all on same point.
Yep.
Now, Brighton who is sitting 6th position,
4 points away from this guys.
From the 3rd to the 5th.
If Brighton beats Tottenham Hotspur during the weekend, they are 1 point away.
Which will not happen.
Brighton still have City to play.
They still have City to play.
How are you sure that Manchester United will win against Brentford?
They have Chelsea to play.
You see, most of these teams from 3rd to 6th, maybe to some extent Brighton, excluding Brighton, from 3rd to 5th, none of them is really, really stable. United will fumble today, crumble tomorrow, get back on track.
And that's why I feel like if Brighton can get some consistency.
You mentioned Newcastle, the month of February, they weren't, yes, but then again, they're
look at Brighton's run to the end of the season. They have City to play. That game has been postponed, but it's going to be rescheduled.
Yep,
they have Chelsea to play. They have Tottenham to play. They have Wolves to play. They have Manchester United to play. They have Arsenal to play.
It's a tough.
Sorry. Before you even say anything. If Brighton make top 10, I hold you 10,000 naira. I'm saying it live on here. If they make top 4, I don't want to do them now. Top 4.
No worry, Chelsea will make top 4 ahead of.
No, I don't think Chelsea will. They'll win the Champions League and come back.
Okay, guys. All right. Let's talk about Chelsea and Liverpool from the game last night. Liverpool, it feels a lot to me like Jurgen Klopp has an eye on the weekend game against Arsenal with the choices he made in his lineup yesterday. Do you agree?
I don't think so. Well, on one part I feel so, but on the other I think he just wanted to punish some people. Because in his press conference before the game he said he could only guarantee 2 starters in that Liverpool team from the team that started against Manchester City the previous weekend. And indeed, he made 6 changes. And some of the changes he made, you would see that he was not trying to rest these guys. He was just trying to change the team. Simple. Brought in Tsimikas at left back, brought in Gomez at right back. I know Van Dijk was actually injured. Up front, he almost changed the whole front 3. Only Jota, I think, kept his place in the front 3. Brought in Firmino for Salah. Brought in Darwin for Gakpo. So I think it was just trying to show some players that, hey, we can do without you. You have competition. If you are not doing very well, we can put you on the bench and play others. Did it work? I'm not sure it did, because they had a worse, even with the fact that they only had a good first half against Manchester City. All round, I still think that I saw a more spirited performance from Liverpool against Manchester City that I saw yesterday. Honestly, it was foolishness from Chelsea's attackers. It should have been at least 3-0 bashing, of Liverpool. They offered nothing, absolutely nothing. If they had a goal yesterday, it should have been luck. So I think maybe he wanted to punish, maybe he wanted to rest, but whatever it is, he has done it, and now he needs to go back to his number.
I don't even think he wanted to rest. I think I said it some months ago. That's coach, Jungle Club has lost idea. He need to move on. That's just the truth. Whether we take it or not, it's repeating itself. And I'm back to the players arrested. I think he felt betrayed. Most of these players didn't come to.
Didn't come to the party against Manchester.
So probably just felt okay, fine. Let me rest these players and prove to them that
we can be Liverpool.
No one can be put on the bench.
Don't you think that could also inspire them against Arsenal the weekend?
Yeah,
maybe that's what they needed.
Well, maybe I hope they are, because Arsenal, they are in full throttle right now, and nothing but a team in their A game can withstand Arsenal right now. It's been a difficult week for Liverpool, I must say. Within the space of 1 week, having to play Manchester City, Chelsea, and the Liverpool, and 2 games away.
And then you're playing Arsenal the weekend.
2 games away from
teams.
home. So 3 top teams in the space of 1 week is difficult. But then that is why you are a top team. You expect to play top teams almost week in, week out. So I think I don't fancy the chances of Liverpool, other than the fact that they play at Anfield this weekend. And I know that when they play at Anfield, it feels like a different Liverpool entirely. Yes, the performances we've seen have been at the Etihad and at Stamford Bridge. I'm hoping that Anfield factor will come in again.
It can't come in. Not this season. It hasn't come in.
Are you saying Arsenal will beat Liverpool at Anfield? Because I don't think that will happen.
I think they will.
I think Arsenal can get a draw.
That's Liverpool.
But I don't think they'll get a win.
They are not totally.
You'll be surprised how the atmosphere of one game can inspire the players.
Why did that happen when they were leading Madrid?
Well, but then you saw what happened with Manchester United. You saw what happened with Manchester.
Matches in the Premier League at Anfield.
You saw what happened with Manchester United, right? Oh, yeah. That is what Anfield can do.
No. That one happens once in a blue moon. Nobody saw that coming. That United will be.
But then it can happen. It can happen. Just scoring first for Liverpool can spark something at Anfield that will, how do I put it? That will spur them into winning
I'm sorry,
the game.
with this Liverpool.
I'm just saying, never say never. It looks like it's going to be an Arsenal win or draw, but then never say never. It's Anfield.
Anyway,
if it was Emirates, I'll be 100% sure.
We're going to keep that discussion till the weekend. And now to Chelsea. Mikel Antonio and Callum Wilson, they discussed Graham Potter's sacking while they were on a podcast. That's the Footballers Football. Wilson said, and I quote, "They've paid £20 million to get him out of Brighton, and then you've given him 5-year contract as well. So you've got all those financial implications. Then you've let him spend £400 million or whatever it is. Surely you've got to let him ride the wave." Chelsea are not at the moment really pushing for anything because of the way the season is gone. It's like finish as high as we can, regroup in the summer, have a good preseason and go again. He's an English manager who is unbelievable for Brighton for so long, but he gets quickly forgotten because of a few bad games at Chelsea.
A few?
Ultimately, you need the time. Listen, he says ultimately you need the time. Look at what Arteta had. All of a sudden, Arsenal are top of the league. With that squad that Chelsea have, that could have been them. You can't tell me that Arsenal have a better squad than Chelsea, so you'll be thinking, give him time. The way he took Brighton from one level to another tactically, Chelsea are much better squad. You've got better individuals to do that, Will. First and foremost, the squad comparison between Chelsea and Arsenal.
These guys are talking fallacy. Now, number one thing is this: Arteta won the FA.
This is coming from a football end.
Yeah, they're talking fallacy. They don't know what they're saying. Arteta won the FA Cup in his first season at Arsenal. Number two, for Arteta, there was always a system he wanted to play. There was always a plan. There was always a pattern. Yes, the personnel on ground at some point was not fitting into that system, but from the get-go, from Arteta's first game in charge of Arsenal, you could tell what he was trying to do. Yes. Graham Potter spent 7 months in charge of Chelsea, and excuse me, I still did not know what he was trying to do.
He didn't feel the first top three of at the back.
He didn't feel like he even knew what he was trying to do. So it was not a matter of give him time. It was a matter of let's see that there is a direction. Let's see that, okay, this is what you are trying to do. But you just need more time to make these players understand what it is that you want from them. For Potter, it was a matter of we didn't even think Potter knew what he wanted to do. It was like Potter himself was testing. Today this one work. Like he didn't have a way that he wanted to lead Chelsea through. So it's different. They should not compare it. I think the problem, it was the right decision to sack Potter.
But he's talking about they should have given him time and allow him to ride.
They gave him time. They gave him time.
If there's a name for that,
they gave him time.
He was given enough time.
But what do you expect from a team that is going to have 3 managers in the space of 1 season?
They gave him time. Look, he came in October, and immediately nothing changed. September. And things regressed. Not even. I think it was October. I'm not sure right now. But then things regressed. Not go forward. And by December, people were already clamoring for a sack. And I was one of those who said, give him a transfer window at least. And the transfer window, they were the most active team in the whole world in the transfer window. And then 4 months.
But what's the quality of the players they were signing?
No, seriously.
Aside from Joao Felix, aside from Mikel Modric.
Badiashile, Enzo Fernandez, they signed.
Yes, aside from Enzo Fernandez.
They signed
Badiashile, who are the Malo Gusto.
Noni Madueke, they signed quality. And for me, I believe they signed the players Potter wanted. So you can't.
But Christopher Nkunku is coming in summer.
In the summer again. So I think they signed the players that Potter wanted. After you have been given your own players to work with, you have no other excuse. They gave him 3 months after they gave him the players he asked for, and still nothing changed. Honestly, it was his fault.
Graham Potter is the most fortunate coach Chelsea has ever had. Honestly, is the most fortunate because you were given everything you needed, the money, the players, the time as well too. But to be honest, I wouldn't blame Graham Potter. I blame Todd Boehly, the co-owner of that club. They were the one who put Chelsea in this mess.
But Moyes was only able to sign 2 players at Manchester United. Signed Fellaini in the summer, signed Mata in January, and before the end of the season was out. People do not give you that much time to so especially.
It's not even Brighton. When you get all the time in the world, big clubs wouldn't give you that much time. What's especially if you have a direction?
I'll just cap it up is it didn't show any prospect. It was prospect that there is something brewing, but they are not there yet. They are still on the way. For Arsenal, we saw that prospect. We saw that there was something coming. If only he can get the players he wants in the team. There will be and immediately he got the players he wanted. Every player he wanted that he got changed something in the team. When Tierney came, something changed. When Wells came, when the likes of Partey came, when he got a player, you saw the impact of that player. Which of the players that have been given to Graham Potter have sparked any change at Chelsea? Has shown that this is a player that fits into this particular pattern that Potter wants to play. There is nothing so there was no prospect at all.
Sorry, I would like
to even say there is hope.
I would like to ask.
There was nothing to hang on to.
He got those players. I'm asking you personally now, Blessing. Single hand 1 or 2 players.
How do you want me to answer that?
That was fantastic.
It even feels like he didn't know where to use his own players. He used Noni Madueke on the right.
Potter's come Chelsea.
Okay, guys. Now let's talk about this. What's going on with the new manager who is to come on board? Like I said, personally, I would have thought that they would wait to the end of the season before they recruit. But of course, they want to get that done as soon as possible, get it out of the way. Luis Enrique is the latest man in the picture. Is in London as we speak, holding talks with the Chelsea board over that vacancy. There's also Julian Nagelsmann, who is also a front runner for the job. And in fact, there were issues around his age. One of the main reasons why. That talk has not progressed further than it has, although it has been positive so far. It's just 35-year-old, and they are thinking perhaps that age might be a barrier with the players who are, in the dressing room, in the locker room. But guys, Luis Enrique, Julian Nagelsmann, what should be the obvious option here, if there is one?
Okay, well, for me, I think first and foremost, let me just say that I heard from inside sources that Julian Nagelsmann was the preferred choice initially until Julian Nagelsmann was contacted a couple of days ago, and he made it clear to Chelsea that he wanted to take a time off till the end of the season. He was not willing to take a job right now mid-season. He wanted to wait till at least the end of the season. And I think Chelsea wanted, someone who could come on board immediately. And I think that was what triggered Luis Enrique. Now, talking about who I would prefer of the two, I think I'll prefer Luis Enrique. Number one, Luis Enrique is more experienced. He also has a clear philosophy right now, honestly, I'm not sure what Nagelsmann's football philosophy is. Okay. I'm not sure what is. We know the football philosophy of the likes of Klopp, the likes of Tuchel, the likes of Pep Guardiola, the likes of even Ten Hag now, Conte. I'm not sure what Nagelsmann's football philosophy is. And after what Chelsea have suffered from an inexperienced, in inverted commas, inexperienced coach, I think they need someone who is already well in his own, who already knows what he wants to do, who already has, how do I call it? Mourinho called it football heritage, who already has a track record. And I think Luis Enrique ticks all those boxes. I think it will come, it will tell them, it will show them how he wants them to play, and he will ask for players that will help them play that way. They need that kind of.
And then they spend an additional £600 million.
I don't think so.
It's foolishness of Tomboli. They shouldn't have spent the last $400 million that they spent was a waste of money. They shouldn't have spent.
Not a waste of money. How are you saying that?
Okay, guys, before we start,
Ashimara Modric 50 million.
Before we start taking calls, there are games today in the Premier League. Manchester United at home to Brentford, and West Ham hosting Newcastle United, Man U and Brentford. In the first leg of that game, it ended 4-0 in favour of Brentford. I think it was one of the earliest
first or the second game of the season
for Erik ten Hag.
of the season. Of the season. This season
4-0, and this Brentford side, they're still in form.
Definitely, they are one of the teams that have been consistent since the first kick of the ball this season till now. They've beaten both Manchester clubs already, at least in one leg, and the likes of Ivan Toney. Despite, I have to give some kudos or some respect to that guy. Despite all the distractions of the field of play, how much it feels like he may not even be playing football at all next season if he gets banned for all the things he has been charged for. One thing he never fails to do is prove his mettle when it comes to the field of play. It feels like once he steps onto the pitch, all those things that are happening off the field of play just valve most off his head and his focus, and that shows some sort of mentality and some sort of character. So for me, I think Brentford, we've seen their quality, we've seen what they are all about, and I think tonight Manchester, and this is the bad English, this is the wrongest time to play Brentford. Manchester United are not in a good place right now. The absence of Casemiro and the long injury absence of Christian Eriksen have put that team back into the old eras where you either go with Mark Fred and suddenly you see that there is the midfield is suddenly a problem again. So Brentford, they don't miss opportunities. They don't. So tonight I think this is the closest that it will be. I think there is a big chance for Brentford to do it.
Big chance for Brentford. And what about West Ham and Newcastle, Daniel?
Well, both of them, when I saw the fixture, I just told myself it's just going to be a draw match because Newcastle hasn't been themselves. Compared to Newcastle, we know from the beginning of the season, they were just
they just smashed Manchester United,
and suddenly they went. But then again, they the last two matches they've won. But going away to West Ham, which West Ham themselves haven't been, they're
fighting relegation.
Relegations. Yeah. They have something at stake. That's the relegation aspect there. So the two teams looks more dicey going on a draw. That's the way I see the match.
For Newcastle coming off of a victory over Manchester United, I just don't think that West Ham should be much of a problem. But
no matter where Newcastle stands on the table this season, I'll still consider them a mid-table team. And one thing a mid-table team displays is inconsistency. You can't say just because they can beat Manchester City this week. I'm going to lose to Bournemouth.
I'm going to lose to Bournemouth. I think they've not been fair to Newcastle. They've been fantastic this season. You may call them mid-table team, but they've been fantastic. Number 5
the Saudi money is showing really with the way they are at the table. Okay, let's just move on, guys. We need to take a break to join the BBC and then take some calls as well. Then this is about Nottingham Forest. There's a statement from Nottingham Forest owner Evangelos Marinakis, who has now backed Steve Cooper. There's been rumours about Steve Cooper, and after that game yesterday, appeared to be waving to the fans almost like a goodbye wave. But now the owner of the club has released a statement backing Steve Cooper. And former Crystal Palace boss Patrick Vieira was also being touted for the job as well. Seeing that Cooper has not even been sacked already, he has already been mentioned, but now he's backed him. And don't know how. Sometimes in Premier League when you get a vote of confidence, what's your back? Watch your back.
I think Marinakis likes Cooper. He should have been fired a while ago.
I mean, with how many players he signed at the
if it was another owner, I would have said this is read it in inverted meaning. But then for Marinakis, with what he has, with the track record of the last couple of months, I think he likes Cooper. And I think he wants to keep faith with him.
Maybe he wants to. And Alexander Mitrovic, that's the Fulham striker, has been banned for 8 games by an independent commission after pushing referee Chris Kavanagh in the FA Cup loss at Manchester United. He's also been fined £75,000 for improper, abusive, insulting, and threatening language to the referee. I mean, since we're talking about somebody who used improper, threatening language at the referee, how about I just chip this in about here in Nigeria, Remo Stars. Yesterday we talked about this on Sportsbank. About the game on Sunday. The referees at after halftime refused to come out of their dressing room, and they later said because of threats to their life. And I saw the tweet by Remo Stars saying that they do not understand why the referees didn't come out, but they continue to play music and keep the arena lively in the process. But now the IMC has come out with a big hammer on Remo Stars there. They've been fined for the assault on referee. That the assault on referee Ndubuisi Uka and subsequent disruption of that match 12 fixture of the NPFL against Gombe United. And their manager, match official of the club, Mr. Ekene Adams as well, is to be charged to court. That's from what the IMC said. They fined them £500,000. Also. Naira. 500,000 naira. They also directed to pay 250,000 naira to the official in question, and they have 7 working days to actually pay the fine. And if they would rather opt to face a disciplinary panel, they have 48 hours to do that. They've also been docked 3 points
and 3 goals.
I mean, that's
like a game forfeit.
Game forfeit, really. I mean, I'm just wondering.
I like this.
Mitrovic 8 games ban, fined £75,000, but not.
I'll just say I like the decisive way this has been handled, and I like the speed at which this was reached. I think that was what we were clamoring for in the season past. That look, finding these people money doesn't mean anything. What will mean something to them is the points deduction. I remember the reason why Kano Pillars are relegated today is because they were docked points after violence happened in their home stadium. If you look at the point gap between themselves and Shooting Stars, you discover that if they were not docked points last season, they may still be in the Premier League this season and maybe Shooting Stars in the NNL. So it's the points that pain these teams. It's the points that will curb them. It's the points that will urge.
When you know how much you lose from
it's the points that will inspire the club ownership structure to indoctrinate and do whatever it is for their fans to understand that you are killing us by behaving this way. It's better we lose this game than for you to do this and we get retrospective ban. So I think I like the decisive nature of this
ruling. Okay, from the
I like the time frame. And I think, honestly, I hope this is not Sakamanje because IMC is blowing my mind, man.
Okay, we need to go on a break to join our partners at the BBC for the BBC Premier League updates. And when we return, I'll take your calls 08091551055, 08256998678, 0706949300. If you'd rather use Facebook, I'll take your comments off of Facebook as well. And I just wanted to chip in that Remo Stars issue with the assault on referee because it's very similar to the story to what Alexander Mitrovic has been fined for. We'll also talk about the Spanish Copa del Rey El Clasico second leg. Barcelona lead 1-0 from the first leg. What is Real Madrid's chances of rewriting the story of the El Clasico?
At least win one.
Okay, when we return, we'll continue with the show. Keep it locked.
BBC Premier League update from the home of Premier League football.
Hello, I'm Mike Perkins at the BBC Sports Centre. Chelsea and Liverpool played out a goalless draw at Stamford Bridge, which did little to boost either side's hopes of European football. Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp admits it wasn't a great watch last night. That said, he thought his team's performance was a marked improvement on Saturday's 4-1 defeat at Manchester City.
It's not a game people will write books about, but it's a point for us, and it's one more than before, and I can easily live with that, and from here we go. Next game is Arsenal now. Don't know exactly where Arsenal was last year, but they are now obviously flying and incredible. I'm really looking forward to this game now, because tonight I saw a step, and that's what I wanted.
Brighton and Hove Albion won 2-0 at Bournemouth to boost their hopes of European football next season. They're only 4 points off the Champions League places, and they have 2 games in hand on 4th place Tottenham Hotspur. Aston Villa beat Leicester City 2-1 at home. The result was the first since Brendan Rodgers' sacking. As for Leeds, they came from behind to beat Nottingham Forest 2-1. It moves them out of the bottom 3 and all the way up to 13th. After a potentially season-defining night at Elland Road, Javi Gracia said the supporters will always have a place on his team sheet.
Number 12 is the supporters for us, is the number 1. We start the lineup with our supporters, and after we start saying the rest of the team is something we have to enjoy with them, and I hope in the future they can enjoy with the team as well.
2 more games on the way, with Manchester United trying to make amends for their 4-0 defeat to Brentford earlier this season. West Ham United also play Newcastle United on Wednesday. And for more football news from the BBC, you can go to bbc.com/football.
BBC Premier League update from the home of Premier League football.
Okay, we are back. It is still just football. We're reaching home stretch of the show. 08091551055, 08056998678, 0706949300. Who do we have here?
Good afternoon, everyone.
Yes, good afternoon. This is Falarin.
This is Falarin from
Yes, welcome, Falarin.
I just have 3 things to comment to make. I think the first one, personally, I think you guys are not being too fair on Potter.
Yeah.
I see the comparison.
I have always been fair on Potter, personally. I don't know about that.
You have been fair on Potter, yes.
Thank you.
But the other 2, I think they're a bit harsh.
Yeah.
You know, football is an emotional game, and a game is also a result-oriented game. So if the results are not coming, it looks like the guy is not doing anything. But the truth of the matter, for instance, the same Arteta that you were comparing him with, Arteta actually set some very negative records for Arsenal before there was a turnaround. Yes, he won the FA Cup in the first year, but he set a lot of records. One of them is that we were out of Europe before we could come to this form that we're in. That was the first time in God knows how many years we're out of Europe. This thing, for me, it takes time. If you want to build something sustainable, it takes time. Number 2, the chairman. Can you imagine maybe a Zidane in Chelsea, and then the chairman is just buying players? Can you tell me that all of the players that was bought was the real players that this guy wanted?
Can you also say that they were the players that Potter didn't want? We don't know what happened internally, so we can't really speculate.
Okay, you might be right, but I have a feeling that those players were not 100% the kind of players that Potter wanted. It was imposed upon him. You would never do that with this. Even this coach that left Tottenham, you will never try that with that kind of a coach. These are experienced coaches. They'll tell this is what we want, and they will go for it. I think there was a bit of harshness on this guy. He has left. We wish the next person the best of luck. For Liverpool,
okay,
their match yesterday, I don't know if, for instance, you are resting players because of Arsenal. If you beat Arsenal, will you get 6 points? Why not face the one in front of you?
And they're even more likely to beat Chelsea than Arsenal. So if I were to pick one out of those 2 games, I'll pick Chelsea.
Exactly. So why rest players and all that?
So I think you just wanted to punish. I think it was the disciplinary move.
Probably.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much for lying. Thank you for calling. 08091551055, 08056998678, 0706949300. Abiodun Fale has been on Facebook. He's posted a lot. I'm going to take a few comments from him. He says, can we see our Super Eagles qualifying at large for future tournaments? Our forward are lacking tactical approach to strong opponents. It says Chelsea can brace up again, hopefully next season. Hello, who's there? Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, Madam Blessing.
Good afternoon. This is Joseph.
Yeah, Joseph.
Yeah. Good afternoon. Welcome.
Now, Femighty and
good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Now, Liverpool always have one disease. Any season they have this kind of bad downs. They don't normally pick up again. That's how they finish their season. So this is how they finish their season. I don't see them beating us now. The best they can do is to get a goal. So yesterday, now we're just trying to test other players and then see what they want to bring to the table. But the same, they are the same of the same. So this season, they should just forget about it. I don't think they even make, maybe conferences. So maybe that will We start from there.
Okay.
So, thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for calling. Back to Facebook. This is from Abiodun Fale again. Says, it's a pity that administration affected Chelsea as a team at large. We hope for better opportunities in the nearest future. Okay, I guess he's a Chelsea fan. Ajibaki Abiodun says, we should probably talk about our local leagues in terms of discipline and both players and their handlers. We need to be organized. Well, of course, that's what IMC has been trying to do with some of the changes they've brought into the MPFL this season. Fale is again asking, what team is representing Osun State? I mean, football club.
There is Osun United.
Actually, Osun United and the NNL. The NNL, yes. And, okay, well, thank you very much for that. I'm just asking, what tournament are we co-hosting with Benin Republic?
That's the African Cup of Nations 2025.
We have not won the hosting rights yet.
No, we are vying.
We are vying for the hosting right. There's a difference.
Last weekend, they were in Nigeria to inspect the facilities. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, so that's a bit different. Guys, Barcelona and Real Madrid, any words on that real quick? I mean, it's been, they're going to Camp Nou now, and so far this season, Barcelona has had the upper hand against Real Madrid. Can they claw their way out of this? I mean, this hold that Barcelona has kept.
No, the usual will continue now.
Well, for me, I think maybe a draw at least. I don't see Real Madrid losing, and the reason why I don't see them losing is because I think they're in a good place right now. I think the win, against Valladolid should spur something. Also, this is probably the first time that they have all their players fit. Benzema is actually fit, not just trying to come back from an injury or getting injured. I think Benzema is fully fit now. Vinicius Junior is also okay. So it's a full squad against another full squad. I think it should be interesting. But at the end of the day, I think Barcelona will make it to the final of the Copa del Rey.
Okay, and Ayorinde Rakib Adebayo on Facebook says the Blaugrana are knocking out Real Madrid tonight to book their spot in the Copa del Rey final. Okay, Barcelona fan.
So I guess it's going to be a double for Barcelona.
Yes, in the French Coupe de France, it is Nantes against Lyon today as well.
Lyon, the conquerors of PSG during the weekend.
I mean, that one's going to be interesting. And back here in Nigeria, with the Super Falcons of Nigeria, they opened camp today in Antalya, Turkey. That's yesterday, actually, as they started preparation for the international friendlies against Haiti and New Zealand. About 21 players are already in camp. 9 arrived today, and just a few more expected. Randy Waldrum invited 23 players for the friendlies. 21 players in camp already, as per the latest released by the team via the official Twitter handle. And one of the biggest names, pretty much happy to have her back, Desire Paranozi.
Yeah.
She's in camp already, and of course the welcome from what I hear she's received from the rest of the girls. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. It's interesting. And the Falcons are camped at Sens de Lux Hotel in Antalya. The 9-time African champions will take on Haiti at the MA Sports Complex in Antalya on Friday, and then later on next Tuesday they will be locking horns with New Zealand, who is one of the co-hosts of the FIFA Women's World Cup. And Waldrum will be in the dugout for those 2 games, but the man has been working without pay for the last 14 months.
1 year, 2 months. That's crazy.
I want him to perform.
Okay, well, he was appointed as Nigeria's coach in 2020, replacing Thomas Denaby, and however, since his appointment, he's received only 2 months of pay from the NFF and has not been paid since last year. Okay, we wish them all the best right there in Turkey. I hope this would, spark some renaissance or resurgence for our preparation towards the World Cup. We have to leave on the show right now. Thank you very much to everyone who has been here.
It's been a pleasure.
It's
been a pleasure. Well, tomorrow is my birthday. Manchester United beat
Manchester United. Now they lose because of his birthday.
Beat Brentford for me tonight. Give me my birthday.
AJ, congratulations.
Okay.
I think he's back.
This is just football, Daniel. Don't worry, Femighty. If Manchester United loses, I'm not going to give you a birthday gift on Sports Bank tomorrow. Join me tomorrow at 7:30. I am Blessing Fowowe. Au revoir.
The message is brought to you by Cowbell Evaporated Milk.
The message